Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I've had a long day, so I might not have as much energy as I usually do on these, but I like to film these on Sunday night. I spent the whole day down in Birmingham, videoing as much as I could of a BPU meet, and getting trained to be a referee. And incidentally, I did red light one of the other officials for his depth on a squat, but we're not going to go into that. Alright, so let's get these questions started. First question. And this is from a regular subscriber who happens to be a female vegan powerlifter. 14-day cross-country road trip to Southwest USA. No lifting, no vegan protein options, all gains lost. No, of course not, your gains aren't lost. Now, obviously, you might not get as much protein as you might want, but you can eat a lot of grains to get some of them. You can find ways to get little bits of protein in grains, nuts, things like that. It's not a problem. Now, the 14 days of no lifting, no big deal. You've got friends there, obviously. Get someone to hop up on your back. Do squats with a friend. Hold it, riding piggyback. Find heavy objects to deadlift, pick up, to do clean and presses with. Find a bar or a tree or anything to do chin-ups or pull-ups off of. You can still do some basic lifting to maintain your gains without actually being able to lift true weights. There are ways around this that you can get by with in the short term, so it should be fine. And again, lots of nuts, grains, things like that. You should be okay on the protein. Alright, next question. Could you go into more detail on why we should avoid fried foods? Most people would say it's because fat clogs the arteries, but isn't it because oxidized fats are carcinogenic? Really curious to hear your take, and I don't think you've addressed this in detail in the past. Thanks. Yeah, it's not just because of the fat content. I'm not really anti-fat by any means. I'm anti-moderating certain types of fats, but not anti-fat. Now, in this case, you're talking about when you're deep frying foods, and people are thinking fry. I'm from the South in the United States. I am from Texas. To me, the word fry does not mean to pan fry something without some oil in it. To me, frying is deep frying in vegetable oil of some type. And when you do that, as he's pointing out, you oxidize the fats, you damage and break down all these N6 fats, you turn them into types of fats that aren't particularly metabolically useful to you compared to a lot of other types of fats. It dramatically increases the carcinogens, as was pointed out here. And overall, you're getting a low-quality fuel source. It's damaged, doesn't have the best nutrient value in the world, is potentially harmful to your health. And I'm not saying to avoid it completely. You shouldn't be eating this stuff every day, but nothing in moderation or on occasion in terms of normal foods is really going to hurt you in the long term. I'm talking about people who consume these things very regularly. So don't confuse those things. I'm not telling you to completely avoid fried foods. I'm just saying they need to be moderated. It's not something you want to consume very regularly or in large amounts. Alright, next question. Will someone at a higher body fat percentage recomp faster than someone with a lower body fat if they both have the same amount of training under their belts? Yeah, quite simply, someone who has a higher body fat has better energy stores to draw from to gain muscle on a lower amount of calories than someone else. So therefore, the more fat you have, the faster you will recomp, in the sense of you can gain muscle easier. You can run a larger calorie deficit while still gaining a little bit of muscle mass even when you're cutting. Someone who's quite obese can usually gain muscle while losing fat at a pretty dramatic rate. You try to gain muscle while you're losing fat when you're very lean, and it's not going to happen. You're lucky if you get to a certain level of leanness. You will be lucky when you're losing fat if you can even hold on to the muscle you have, let alone gain any. So absolutely, the more body fat you have, the easier and faster you can recomposition your body. That's just a given, and that's irrespective of where you are in your fitness journey. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 2.